Once upon a chilling time, in a land veiled by the ancient whispers of the north, there existed a humble village named Torsåker. Nestled amidst the vast haunting forests and cold, silent rivers of Sweden, this village harbored tales as old as the gnarled trees that stood guard around its borders. As seasons danced the eternal dance of time, the village lived in a rhythm, a harmony with nature that was as deep as the endless night that wrapped the land in winter's hold. But beneath the serene veil of snow and the gentle whispers of the summer breeze, there was a restless spirit that lurked in the shadows. A spirit that carried the cold breath of the unknown, an unseen force that the villagers feared yet revered. As the sun cast long, haunting shadows upon the earth, the heart of Torsåker held tales of yore, tales that spoke of beings that roamed the ancient woods under the pale moonlight, beings whose whispers carried the ancient, forgotten languages of the earth and sky. Yet, as time flowed like the silent river, change was but a shadow on the horizon, a shadow that grew with every passing day until it cast a dark veil upon the heart of Torsåker. And so, as the snow once again veiled the land in a cloak of white, and the rivers stood still in the cold grasp of winter, a new tale began to weave its dark threads through the tapestry of Torsåker's destiny, a tale that carried with it a chill that could freeze the very soul. Now, gather closer around the fire, dear listeners, for as the night descends upon us and the stars bear witness to our gathering, I shall unveil the chilling tale of the Torsåker witch trials, a tale that shall take us on a journey through the shadows of fear and the chilling grasp of death that once held the heart of Torsåker in an icy grip. As the chill of winter clung to the land, the people of Torsåker awoke one cold morning to the arrival of a man whose presence sent shivers down the spine of the village. This man was a clergyman, dressed in garments as dark as a starless night, his eyes piercing through the veil of morning mist. He came from afar, his reputation arriving like a cold wind before him. He was known for his merciless pursuit of what he deemed to be the sinister touch of witchcraft, a dark art he believed had plagued the lands. With a heart hardened by cold righteousness and a soul that seemed to be untouched by the warmth of mercy, he entered Torsåker. His arrival was like a dark cloud casting a shadow over the humble village, his stern face an omen of the grim tale that was to unfold. The clergyman bore with him a list that carried the names of those accused of consorting with the unseen forces that lurk in the shadows. As he rode through the village, his horse's hooves clattering against the frozen ground seemed to echo the relentless beating of fate. His first act was to summon the villagers to the ancient, weather-beaten church that stood as a silent guardian at the heart of Torsåker. The bell tolled, its eerie ring reverberating through the cold, crisp air, summoning the people to witness the unveiling of a dark chapter in their lives. As the villagers gathered, the clergyman stood before them, his voice as cold as the icy winds that swept through the land. He declared his divine mission to rid Torsåker of the sinister grasp of witchcraft, to cleanse the very soul of the village from the dark shadows that he believed had enveloped it. He read aloud the names of the accused, each name a chilling note in the deathly silence that had enveloped the village. The faces of the accused turned pale as the grave as they were dragged from their humble abodes, the hands of their loved ones reaching out in a desperate grasp of futile hope. His words were law, his actions a relentless force that sought to dissect the heart of Torsåker, to rid it of the unseen evil he believed lurked within. The cold stone walls of the dungeons awaited the accused, a grim dwelling where fear and despair would be their only companions in the dark days that loomed ahead. The clergyman's pursuit of what he believed to be justice was unyielding, his conviction a cold blade that sought to sever the dark veil he believed had fallen upon Torsåker. And as the sun set, casting a blood-red hue upon the horizon, the village plunged into a tale of darkness that would be whispered through the lands for centuries to come. As days turned into nights, and the nights bore the cold breath of fear, the grim veil of suspicion and dread enshrouded Torsåker. The clergyman, with a heart as cold as the stone walls of the dungeons, continued his merciless inquisition. His face was a mask of stern righteousness as he interrogated the accused under the haunting flicker of torchlight. Each confession he extracted was a note in the dirge that now played through the once peaceful heart of Torsåker. The whispers of witchcraft grew into a deafening roar that drowned the cries of innocence. As the moon waxed and waned, the list of the accused grew, each name a haunting echo through the chilling winds that swept through the barren fields. In the heart of the village, fear blossomed like a dark flower, its petals the color of night. The once close-knit folk of Torsåker now eyed each other with suspicion, the bonds of trust frayed by the icy grip of fear. The hourglass of fate drained relentlessly, leading to a day that would forever be etched in the black annals of Torsåker's history. The day of reckoning was announced as the first rays of the cold sun cast a ghostly pall over the village. The eyes of the accused, now hollow from the endless nights of despair, looked upon the sky one last time as they were led to the gallows that awaited amidst a silence that spoke the language of death. The crowd gathered under the cold grey sky, their faces pale, their breaths held captive by the grim dance of death that was to unfold. The clergyman stood tall, his silhouette a grim reaper against the backdrop of the gallows that stood like a dark monument to fear and death. As the first accused was led to the gallows, the cold steel of the executioner's axe glinted ominously under the feeble sunlight. With each swing of the axe, a life was severed from the mortal realm, a soul cast into the abyss. The earth seemed to tremble with the weight of the innocent blood that now soaked the ancient soil of Torsåker. The silence was shattered only by the eerie cawing of crows that circled the grim spectacle, their dark wings casting ghostly shadows upon the ground. As the last body fell, a cold wind swept through the crowd, carrying with it the cries of the damned. The grim face of the clergyman bore no emotion as he looked upon the field of death, his mission a dark chapter in the tale of Torsåker. And as night descended upon the land, the dark silhouette of the gallows stood as a grim reminder of the day darkness descended upon the heart of Torsåker. The haunting cries of the wronged souls echoed through the ancient woods, a chilling serenade to the merciless hand of fear that had swept through the village. As our tale now draws to a close, the haunting echoes of the Torsåker witch trials linger amidst the whispering trees and the cold, silent rivers. The ghostly touch of the past sends a shiver down the spine of the land, a cold breath that whispers the chilling tale of a dark time, a time when fear held the heart of Torsåker in a deathly grip. Now, as the embers of our candles flicker and cast ghostly shadows upon the ground, I unveil the last shreds of a tale most grim. Amongst those accused, there was one who escaped the icy grasp of fate, a young witch with eyes that bore the ancient wisdom of the forest, and a heart intertwined with the spirits of old. As the candles dance and whisper secrets of the past, know this, my dear listeners, the last surviving witch of Torsåker now sits you, with a tale spun from the threads of history and the echoes of the damned.